Hello, beautiful people, back again. This video, I want to talk about the narcissistic parents, mother or father or both, and how this affects the kids in the household. Okay, if you have or had narcissistic, and maybe you didn't know that that's what they were. And like I said, it's different degrees. They can have narcissistic tendencies, but not necessarily full blown on the side of just straight crazy with it. But at any rate, what it does, either the child is going to grow to be a narcissist, or with the empathic child, it creates subconsciously different type of, I should say, self-esteem issues. So, well, basically, you already know with the narcissistic child, what happens with them. Pretty much, with a narcissistic parent, they'll have like the golden child. That's what the psychology call it. The golden child is the one that they just praise all the time. This child can't do no wrong. They put on a pedestal, this, that, and the third. So that child grows up to be narcissistic, you know. Then you have, now that could be one, or it could be more than one child. That's the golden child. But most of the times it's the one child. Or then you have what they call the scapegoat child, or the black sheep. Some people call it the black sheep child, where they get blamed for everything. And, this just creates a whole nother, type of thing or whatever. So I'm going to deal with the issues that can arise. Oh, and another way, just growing up in a household with dysfunction, we'll say that, creates and breeds narcissists. And for the empathic child, creates self-esteem issues, codependency that can come if you have one or both parents that were addicted to drugs or alcohol, or just verbally mentally abusive type things going on in the household. So with the empathic child, I'm gonna use myself for example. Like, there were things that I went through in my childhood. Every family has dysfunction, and I felt like that I never had a voice, able to speak, my truth. So that shuts down, you know what I'm saying, the throat chakra. It was no balance in that area. I'm definitely gonna have to get into, if you don't know anything about chakras, the energy centers of your body, then you have to do research. But I may end up doing a video on that'll be later on down the line, because I'm still in my research stage as far as presenting it to everybody else. I understand it, but being able to articulate it, I haven't gotten to, I feel, a level comfortable enough to do that. So anyway, for me, that shut down, the throat chakra. Because your throat chakra, you speak from the area. So I'm just like, man, I never felt like I had a voice. So then getting into a relationship, at an early age, and just the conditioning, just, continue. You get off into, religion, and, they tell you, even though you're experiencing some unhealthy and toxic things in your life, your marriage, they want to tell you, go home, pray about it. It's going to be okay. So still, you're not really having a voice, because when you try to, talk about, how you feel, how this person is making you feel negatively, you're not being heard. So still, being shut down. So not only does that environment create that afraid to speak up and stand up for yourself type thing, it also can create you worrying about pleasing, a person, and just wanting to be accepted for who you are. Because when you have a parent that's narcissistic, it's like you constantly trying to get the parents' approval. Even into your adult life, it's like, why do I feel like I'm still trying to get my dad's or my mom's approval? Because subconsciously you've been programmed to do that because of the dysfunction. And I mean, it is what it is, but like I said, once you start researching and going back to the root cause of the problem, why are you still having these type of relationships in your adult life? You have to go back, and I guarantee you can trace it into that. Either your childhood years or teenage years, somewhere in that is where it started in the conditioning. And what I had to do once I learned, the root of the problem, I had to start doing meditation. I would listen to different like meditation music for healing certain areas of the chakra and bringing balance to my 7 chakras. You know what I'm saying? So that was something I had to do. And the things that worked for me during that process of reprogramming my subconscious, basically is what I had to do. I would, like I said, listen to it at night and just let positive, some of them were like positive affirmations, affirming affirmations, saying positive things, to put into my subconscious instead of the old record of, oh my goodness, am I, what I'm saying? Why don't I sing like I'm good enough for this person? Or I'm doing all these things. And what I'm saying? I had to reprogram all of that and believe in myself, and build myself up. So that was some of the things that helped me, to reprogram and reset basically. But, yeah, so that's just, some of the things you experience when you have grew up in a household like that. Narcissistic parents or parents that, were addicted to drugs or alcohol or just verbally abusive. I mean, all those types of environments can create and breed, those things. Narcissistic children, which ultimately grow up to be narcissistic adults. And then with the empathic child, it creates, different types of self-esteem issues that you're not aware of, it's subconscious, and it's subconscious because you've been programmed. So the thing about it is you have to reprogram, reset your subconscious and your thoughts and, and change the way you feel about life. Just take everything. Don't, be like, well, why did this happen to me? Okay, it happened, just take it, turn it around to something positive, learn from it, everything, take everything for a lesson in life. That's what I've always done that, but that's just me. But I guess I'm just here to give a person who don't feel like they have the strength to do that strength and that, inspiration to do it. Just speak your truth. It doesn't matter. Your reality is your reality. Speak your truth. How you feel is how you feel, and can't nobody tell you how you feel about something, or what you experience. Is your experience. Is your own personal experience. It's through your eyes. So speak your truth. But yeah, so those are some of the things. Oh, and let me get into I would say, okay, I'm going to talk about like the father, like these narcissistic people, you will notice in the household, they don't have no type of, I would say very little to none parental instincts, maternal instincts, or whatever you want to call it. The fathers with the sons, to me, it's like examples what I mean by that. I don't know if it's that they're envious of, it gotta be that, because that's one of the root problems with a narcissist. Jealous of the boys. I would say you would start seeing this more into the teenage years, some maybe a little earlier than that, where they just constantly criticizing the child, picking at the child, and just never had nothing good to say. Only time you want to spend time or talk to the child is when you're ready to discipline. Like, that's not healthy. Okay. And then like as they get older and get into the teenage years, you're not spending no time with them. You don't have time to, they don't support. Like I said, it's the same thing they do to you in the relationship. If it's not about them, they're not supporting it. So the same thing goes for the children. So if you see this happening with the person that you with, they're doing it to you, then you start seeing them do it to your children. I'm telling you, find the strength. Let your children, you thinking about your children's future and what you want for them, the best for them, be your motivation and your strength to leave. And you definitely, when you're leaving out of these, or I should say escaping these situations, everybody is different. You have to definitely, I would say, have a plan, an exit plan. Everyone is different. I can't tell you, how to exit it. You may not be financially able to leave or whatever, but you got to do what you got to do to get out for the sake of your children's sanity in the future. But that's pretty much what I want to talk about in this one. But like I said, I don't want the videos to be too long, so I'm going to end it. And then maybe on down the line, I'll talk about it a little more, about narcissistic parents and growing up in those environments. Thank you for listening once again.